You're watching Team 1's new service development project. I'm Leanne. You'll also be hearing from Marty, Simran, and Mary regarding Playscape365 in the indoor play community. So as a parent, we often worry about our kids' health and safety. And we look back at our past and we remember just being outside. The wilderness was our playscape. And today, children spend more time inside due to safety and just lifestyle changes. And we wonder how that will affect our kids in the future. And the President's Council on Fitness and Sports and Nutrition has a few enlightening facts that really tells us that we need to make a change. Only 1 in 3 children participate in physical activity daily. And that's because they're spending over 7 hours per day in front of a screen, whether it be a computer screen or a tablet or the TV screen. And only 20% of homes have easy walkable access to parks. So we have decided with Playscape365 that we could combine all of the things that kids enjoy and meet the need for physical activity among our youth. Playscape365 is a challenging and fun environment to exercise, play, and explore. Indoor playgrounds and sports clubs all offer one aspect of Playscape365's philosophy. Indoor playgrounds require parental supervision at all times. Playscape parents, however, can be confident that while their children are in our care, they are receiving coaching, guidance, and rigorous play experiences in a safe and encouraging environment. Playscape365 is staffed with well-trained coaches to guide children through the Playscape experience. Sports clubs, on the other hand, do offer coaching and teamwork, but only while learning a single sport, and they are limited to after-school timeframes. At Playscape365, children are placed on age-appropriate team, and with the help of coaches, they work together to solve missions. For example, younger children would be in a race to gather more coins than another team. The mission options are endless. Parents can choose from different subscription options, from open gaming to unlimited monthly subscriptions. The facility will include a variety of elements, creating diverse and physically and mentally challenging environment. It will have climbing walls, ropes, miniature sports fields, obstacle courses, classrooms, and even video games. Playscape365 integrates the physical activity of indoor playgrounds with the safety of childcare and the teamwork of sports programs in a trendy video game setting where virtual becomes reality, all under one roof. Our target market location is between Lacey, Washington and Tacoma, Washington, along the I-5 corridor. Smack dab in between those two cities is Joint Base Lewis-McChord, which is home to 60,000 military family members that live on or around the installation. Now, military families are a unique target market because soldiers are away from home for long periods of time, and they're away often. On average, soldiers are away from home for over 2 months out of each year on temporary duty, and deployment lengths range from 6 to 12 months. So while these soldiers are gone, essentially the single parent that is left at home, 75% of them use non-parental child care for doctor's appointments, to run errands, or whatever they would need where their spouse that is away would be assisting with their child. So of that 74.7%, a little over 76% use professional child care services, such as daycares or preschools. Childcare is a major concern for military families because of the nature of the job, where a co-parent is out of the state for a large majority of the time. So when asked, military members said that price, their military assignments, and the availability of care are the consumer drivers for childcare. It's what they use to make their decision of what facility they would like to choose to supplement their parental care with. Playscape365 is going to be centrally located, so military members can use our facility and will see it as a great option to supplement their parental care. So as mentioned in the previous slide, Playscape365 is going to be located between Lacey, Washington and Tacoma, Washington, right outside the gates of JBLM, Joint Base Lewis-McChord, and there is a city, Lakewood, Washington. If you look at the map on the slide, there is the dark blue area, which shows a very high family household density. In that area, it's around 92%. That's made up of civilian and military alike, but they will all be driven indoors by the notorious Seattle weather. It rains a lot in Seattle. When we looked it up with the Weather Channel, we discovered that there is anywhere between 3 to 7 inches of precipitation between October and March. And that would bring a seasonality aspect to our facility that would drive kids more indoors when it is colder and wetter out. In the warm months, July being the warmest, it only gets up to about 96 degrees, which really won't drive kids inside to escape the heat. So our plan is during that time to run summer camps that will incorporate the recreational aspect of the area with mountains and rivers and lakes all over the place, and still use our very highly qualified coaches to bring missions outdoors. Knowing that our location is prime for our target market, we developed a business strategy to get these customers in the door. So the first thing we're going to do is offer free trials to families that want to come and try out our drop-in childcare and many of our other different packages. And we believe that once we get them in the door, our amazing staff and high-tech facility will work as a marketing tool of its own. Again, as mentioned, there is definitely a lot of potential customers in our market, but we're going to start with a small facility and we're going to grow it, and then over time we're going to reevaluate, integrate, and innovate. So as far as our life cycle is concerned, as mentioned, we're going to introduce it with free trials. The first probably year or so, we're going to have lower negative profits because it's going to be a large expense to market the new program, and it's also going to be a large expense to train up new staff and to prep the facility and buy all the equipment and whatnot. So as we get customers in the door and we develop a steady client base, we'll reach our growth stage. Our word-of-mouth advertising will be extended throughout the area, and we should have a period of rapid growth where there are more and more families that want to come and experience this first-to-market idea of integrating video games into physical activity, all within a childcare setting. Our strategy will shift during that time from creating awareness of our new product and service, and we're going to switch it to customer loyalty and advocacy referral programs, meaning if established customers refer a friend, then they'll receive a reduction or a free upgrade in their package. At our maturity stage, after we have basically our max capacity, we'll look at some profit stabilization, and we'll get increased competition in the area as new people and new ventures come in, seeing how well our product has done. And that's when we'll start to look at expansions into additional locations in local secondary markets. Now, with a family household density of 92%, mixed with the state regulations on adult to child ratios within child cares and maximum capacity of facilities in general, we will only be able to service a very small portion of the target market in the area. We could potentially expand locally into further south in the Olympia base or further north up into Seattle, and that would be able to get more people in the door without really having to innovate our idea any further. It will be around the decline stage where we're going to have to start adding new sort of curriculums and new installations of climbing structures and all of that to keep up with the trends and fads that are popular in the video game market. Which leaves me handing you off to Marty to talk about the Servicescape that we're going to be launching the product in, along with the pricing rationale and the roles of employees and customers.
Thank you, Leanne. And I'm Marty Bryant, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the environment we want to create using our Servicescape, staff roles, customer roles, as well as some pricing, another part of the attractive value that we are going to offer. In terms of the Servicescape, we are looking for an existing facility. Our goal is to try to find a facility that has several stories of glass in the front so that we could create really an atrium feel. It is Washington, there's a lot of rain, so we would like to bring in as much natural light as possible, and that atrium feel, that big open atrium feel, would serve really as a hub for the different activity rooms for the teams to rotate through or do their activities in. So as part of the Servicescape, lots of glass opening. We want people from the outside to see that there's a lot of brightness and a lot of fun activity going on inside. We do have to have security for the children. The idea behind the security design would be to have probably glass gates with some chrome, leave that up to an architect, basically so that it doesn't appear that the children are gated in any way, but certainly are safe. That's really important to our brand, is that we are a safe place to trust your children if it's a drop-off situation or an after-school situation. We want our staff to be wearing the same colors, essentially want consistency between our logo colors, some of our atrium displays, and our staff uniforms, really consistency there, and the staff would be clearly identifiable, neat and clean in appearance. Pants and tops are going to be provided so we don't get the jeans look. We want big buttons, ask me this, ask me a question, how can I help, and to really be trained to emulate, sort of the friendliness, the cooperation, the pleasantness, the politeness that we want the children to learn along the way. We want clear, simple and bright signage, again, with our logo colors, and we want the architectural details to inspire movement through the process, through the building, movement, physical movement as well. We'll have some perhaps digital posters, digital signing, so that we could change that up and rotate those so they don't get stale, with not only positive messages about teamwork, sometimes questions for children to think about. Have you eaten an apple today? Those kinds of messages to get children to think about all the ways that they can grow and be healthy. We also want good directions so that a team knows exactly where they're supposed to be, so we need that digital signage. We also, as I mentioned, have those separate areas. Again, there would be some additional staff sort of at those areas, making sure that people are in the right place, staying in the right place, not wandering around, and certainly staying engaged. Customer and staff roles, it's really important for us, to our staff, again, as I mentioned, to emulate those qualities, those personality qualities that we want the children to learn from. So our staff is certainly going to bring professionalism, neatness, politeness. Their primary mission, however, is to keep those children safe and engaged. So it's really important to us as part of our brand that children are getting value out of this process, and that parents feel that they're getting value for their money, and parents also are confident that we're going to keep their children safe and learning and delivering on all that we've promised along the way. It's really important for the staff to help those children build confidence in themselves and to progress at levels that are appropriate for them. We'll have staff that are involved in direct children contact and coaching, staff that would be visible, that would also be responsible for recognition processes along the way, staff that would be monitoring not only security, but also other staff, to make sure that everything is being handled and the ratios and people are in their place. It's really important to us. Children, their role really, even though there are end-use customers, the parents really are the ones that are paying, so it's really important that we build relationships with the parents. The parent's job is to, again, trust us to help their child grow, and we want to be their partner in that. Children are going to bring their curiosity, their physical energy, which we know they all have, especially on rainy days, their eagerness to learn, and we want to really foster all that natural creativity and natural energy in children. We're not going to be afraid of that. Children, we hope they know that they are confident. We want to make sure that the signage and the staff is very clear and simple in their directions in terms of instruction, in terms of where the children need to be, and what the rules of the games are. So we hope that children's accomplishments will really help us create that value along the way, as well as learning sort of in more subtle ways from our staff and the qualities that they emulate. In terms of pricing, we really want to give families flexibility. We realize some families are going to use this as an occasional recreation venue, so we'll have our per-use pass or our 10 packs. Perhaps the 10 packs can be used in our marketing campaigns with some kind of discount rate as well. But we really want to provide a place where people are going to come, children and parents are going to come regularly through our monthly pass system. So we have some different passes set out for different ages, and including a family pass where if you have multiple children, there can be some discount for that as well. The passes obviously are going to be like a perennial membership, so that cyclical monthly billing through a checking account or credit card, those kinds of things, so that people don't feel like, oh, my membership is ending. Events and parties are going to be a really important part of our revenue as well. We may have some teen events in the evening so that we have the older kids in when younger children are not there, so we can have little different games set up, a little more aggressive games for, or engaged games for those teens. We also want to make sure that we can cater to birthday parties and all the traditional things, but in a healthy way that is seeming with our brand and with our value proposition. Events and parties about $12 to $20 is what we're estimating per participant. That range may expand depending on our services and how things go in the first year. So I've enjoyed bringing this information to you and the class, and I want to bring on Simran to talk to us about SWOT analysis.
Thanks, Martha. My name is Simran, and I'm going to be talking about the SWOT analysis and the competitive analysis that we looked at. So starting with the SWOT analysis, we look at the strengths that this service has, and it's going to offer the latest equipment to have a variety of activities for the children to participate in when they're here. There will also be highly trained staff on hand in order to implement all of the programs, lead the group activities, and oversee the children as they play. The integrated curriculum is also an advantage, as it does not only place emphasis on just one activity like sports leagues do, but instead encompasses activities that are diverse and appeal to a wide variety of children, especially that tech generation. As Martha mentioned previously, there are a number of different pricing options available, so families can find what works best for them. This offers flexibility in the service and really encourages families to find what works for them instead of just passing over the service entirely. Moving on to the weaknesses, the main weakness is going to be the costs that are involved in setting up this facility and service. The integrated curriculum is going to be an aspect that requires a lot of different equipment to go with it. We really want equipment that will be effective and engaging for the children to use, and so that's going to tend to be on the more expensive side. In order to have the trained staff we want, a lot of resources are going to have to go into training them to make sure they get all the skills they need to effectively implement this service and give customers and the kids the service that they want and expect. And also, with all that training time that is invested in the staff, when there are turnovers, there's going to be turnover costs in order to train their replacements. All these costs are going to go into the facility before we even get the first customers, so those setup costs are something we have to take into consideration. Moving on to the opportunities, there are a number of current trends in the United States that would allow this type of service to really flourish. First of all, obesity is a major problem in the US, and it is especially a concern for children. It has steadily been increasing throughout the years, and kids are just not getting enough physical activity to compensate for it. There's also been a dramatic increase in the use of technology. This chart on the slide shows the percent of children from ages 0 to 6 and how many use technology over the course of a day. Also, adolescents from ages 8 to 18 spend an average of 7.5 hours a day using entertainment media such as the television, computers, their smartphones, video games, and watching movies, and only about a third of them get the recommended levels of physical activity that are required. Therefore, there has been a push for motivating children to be more physically active, such as the Let's Move campaign, and to get them to be active in whatever way they can for however long they can. There has also been an increase in the popularity and usage of video games across both age and gender. This contributes to lessening children's time to be physically active, but is also shaping their interest in what entertains them today. Finally, it is more common for both parents to be working full-time and to be out of the house, which is creating a huge demand for childcare services. So what plsscape365 would be taking the opportunity to do is to combine all of these factors into one convenient service. Completing the SWOT analysis with threats, the major concern is that new entrants will come into the marketplace and become our competition. Once plsscape365 becomes successful and starts gaining market share, there is the threat that other companies will try and copy what this service offers. They can see the advantage of combining childcare and physical activity with our integrated curriculum, and they will try to capitalize on that success. However, we would have the first mover advantage in this type of service. So once we implement our service, we need to focus on protecting our market share from the competition while also continuing to bring in new customers. Looking more closely now at the competition that's out there, there are a number of types in the industry. Children's recreation and entertainment has numerous options, such as healthcare, sports facilities, parks, and recreation centers. The indoor playground industry has also seen growth in the past few years. However, these facilities usually offer separate, limited services for kids and are usually specifically focused in what they offer. The indoor play community, however, is unique, and we are hoping to capitalize on that with plsscape365. We then looked at the specific major competition for plsscape365 in our target market. First is the YMCA, which would be the biggest competitor as it has the name and brand recognition. It is focused as a health and fitness club with the majority of memberships coming from adults. While it offers programs that are directed towards kids, the child-centered activities are considered an add-on to the adult fitness facility. The after-school program that the YMCA offers is a benefit, which has 30 minutes each for physical activity, literacy, enrichment, and homework help. However, the monthly membership fees to the club are expensive, and there are limited spots for the child care and programs. Parents are also required to have a membership, and the after-school program costs extra as well. While the YMCA does offer similar features that plsscape365 does, it really lacks a focus on the children. plsscape365's purpose is to have those activities and enrichment programs for the kids and to be available at all hours. Also, the price at plsscape365 includes full access to the facilities with absolutely no parental fees. Next, we looked at the Joint Base Lewis McChord MWR, which stands for Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. This is the child care that is offered to military families in our target market. There are 2 facilities on the base, so the location is extremely convenient. The drop-in slots, however, are limited and fill up very quickly. Reservations are available as long as they are made at least 7 days in advance. However, the price is very competitive at only $4 per hour. JBLM is priced below our service at plsscape365, but there is no guarantee that care will actually be available for a specific time. This makes it difficult for parents to plan their appointments or even go and run last-minute errands. Our service will have limitation in accordance with the state capacity guidelines. However, we will have consistent spaces available for drop-in care, and reservations can be made a month in advance. plsscape365 is also open over the weekend, whereas JBLM does not have any weekend hours. The last competitor we looked at was called Charlie Safari. This is a large indoor play area which includes laser tag, an arcade, and a 2-story climbing structure. It also offers private rooms for parties and has a cafe attached for the parents to hang out in. They have this cafe because parental supervision is required at Charlie Safari, but parents are also encouraged to play as well. The full access day pass is priced at $22. The play structure at Charlie Safari does compete with our services. However, Playscape365 has competitive prices and provides drop-in care where parental supervision is not required. Instead, we allow parents to have their child supervised and guided by our highly qualified staff, which then frees them up to complete things during their day. So this slide is an overview of the major pros and cons of each of the competitors that we just went over. So the YMCA's major strength was that it had the name and brand recognition. It also has an all-inclusive sports program. However, major weakness is that it's extremely expensive. There's a lot of overpopulation, mostly for adults, and then there's also limited availability into those after-school enrichment programs. The JBLM had the affordability with the $4 per hour price and also accessibility with the 2 facilities on the base. However, the drop-in spaces are limited and there is no weekend care that is available. Charlie Safari had a really large facility with a large play structure. However, parental supervision is required at all times. So now I will be passing the presentation on to Mary McDonald.
Thank you, Simran. For Playscape365, we are a corporation that is dedicated to enhancing the lives of children through play and teamwork. We do this through providing an indoor playscape specifically designed for today's technical generation and an integrated child care curriculum that engages children through the playing of video games in real life. These video games that are played out are overseen by experienced coaches that have experience not only in playing the actual game, but also are experienced in interacting with children in all age groups. These coaches are in our on-site facility, and they have interactions with children that promote personal qualities such as problem-solving, teamwork, respect for others, and communication that are key for success later in life. The coaches are also there to mentor the children and help them to build integrity, self-esteem, and perseverance. In the child care sector, there is a dichotomy that we are faced with, such as children being the target audience will never be in short supply, and that they also have a significant influence over what the family purchases. This is also followed up by the parents continuously analyzing every aspect of every service that contacts their child and the desire to provide that the service they have selected will provide the best experience and the highest level of protection and security for their children. The evidence of this high level of expectation for Playscape365 is proven to them through the conferences, the progress reports, the skills that their children learn, the improved quality of life and health of their children, and subsequently also themselves, the classroom dojos, amongst other things, at Playscape365. Marketing and communications for Playscape365 will be conducted through on-site special events such as birthday parties and open houses, free trials, and free press. Digital media will also be utilized in the marketing and communications of Playscape365 through Twitter, Facebook, and Google AdWords. Twitter and Facebook are key to the marketing and communication success, not only through Facebook's liking of the Playscape365 group, but also through the positive comments and posts that people put online, and the same through Twitter. This will create a digital network of people with a digital word of mouth, so to speak, advertising. Google AdWords will be purchased, and AdWords such as family fun, child care facility, after-school child care, just to name a few, will be purchased. The Google AdWords campaign will be keys such as parents who are searching for a child care facility will use these keywords and find our facility, and then be able to go on groups such as Twitter, Facebook, and find out what we are like and the kinds of experiences that other parents and children are having with the company. Word of mouth advertising will also be key in PlayScape365's marketing and communications. Word of mouth will occur from people attending special events and free trials, and they will convey their experience with not only other parents, but their children will talk to their friends, and their friends will talk to their own parents, and so on and so forth. And this will create a network of word-of-mouth advertising that will boost our image and hopefully increase our business as well. In conclusion, I would like to thank Team 1 for all of their contributions, including Leanne, Marty, and Simran. And I would also like to thank my audience for their very kind attention. Thank you.